Welcome to El Café de la Vida with the Flower
Coffee
Girl.
cup reading.
Hello. So before I start the coffee cup reading, first there's a part where I speak a little bit about the title, the Two Towers, and then I go into the whole reading, and then we actually go into the coffee cup reading. I'm going to show you an edited version of that coffee cup reading. Yeah, on to the coffee cup reading, the strange coffee cup reading. So the title is going to be, or it is, like the removal of the two towers, like from the two towers from the Lord of the Rings. So, and that is about that the current structures are being dismantled, are being removed, and new structures are being put in place. But what I wanted to mention is that shortly is that means that new, like we are being uprooted, and through this uprootment, everything feels very chaotic and feels maybe very dark, and we're also being shown in the world everything, like during these times we're being shown everything that was hidden in the dark. So it seems like there's more darkness and more negativity, and that the future isn't bright, but that's just because we're going through this uprootment, and there are forces that are trying to use that and say, hey, look at how horrible everything is, and look how horrible it's going to be in the future. Let us help you. Let us bring this and this and this and this and those solutions, because they will be for our future survival or for our freedom in the future. But they're actually, it's just an entrapment. Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, so before we begin the video, I did this video yesterday. It was completely, I wasn't planning on it, and I wasn't able to like speak really well. And I just realized that, okay, there are two towers. It a theme of two towers, like from a castle, is going to come up. I'm going to tell you about this. All of a sudden, I had this realization in the video. Oh, the two towers here, they're mirroring these two towers, and then they're mirroring these other two towers. Okay, so I had this realization that it's like the two towers from I got this reference as I woke up. I was like, oh, it's the two towers from, like, if you've seen, or if you read the books as well, but if you only seen the movies, The Lord of the Rings, you have the two towers. Is it the tower in Isengard and in Mordor? It's been such a long time. But anyway, Saruman and Sauron, like, uh, yeah, like Saruman and Sauron, basically. And then you also have the eye of Sauron between the two pillars. And the monster that I'm going to show you, that I'm talking about, is like a physical, okay, it is a manifestation. It has been birthed. It's a physical manifestation of all of that, everything that is negative. So it is birthed in the sort of, I'm going to tell you in the video that one part is anchored in an other dimensional space and in the astral realm, but the feet were anchored in this dimension, in this world, in our world. But at the same time, this being was, and this entity was sort of, it looked like smoke, it looked like smoke coming out of the two towers. They was struggling to say factories. Yeah, I think that was it. Factories from these two factories, the tower of the two factories, the two towers. So it looks like smoke coming out like this, and mm, yeah, and those sort of entities, they need to be sustained to be kept alive. No, I'm sorry. If they for those entities not to die, because not to die off, they need to keep on being fed. So they need to keep on being fed whatever negativity they're born from. So it's sort of in the coffee cup, you can see, like in our world, you have like people looking down. There's a very heavy feeling and a feeling of depression. So it was both. It was representing like everything in the world that's sort of corrupted, and also there's an environmental aspect to it as well, which is both the fear that people have when it comes to the problems with the environment, but also the fear mongering that some powers use. There's an aspect of the environmental movement that's very dark. Let's just say that. And the reason why I was getting the environment was because uh, I saw uh, the main character in is NAUSHIKA and the Valley of the Wind, a Studio Ghibli film from the 80s. Um, and she has this like flying machine, like flying thing that she latches onto, and she flies with her hands, and like like this, and she flies around, and she can so she flies over the areas that are polluted, which is most of the world in that film. It's an amazing movie if you haven't seen it. It has quite a twist to it. Yeah. The Omu. um so it was that, and then you actually have, so you have these two towers, like from the Lord of the Rings. I'm getting so much Lord of the Rings references. But you have these two towers, and then you have like I saw it like castle. Well, first I first saw a spaceship, and there was this little devil, like haha, trying to like jank off a part of like an antenna from the spaceship. But then the spaceship turned into, I saw it clearly, and there were two towers, and it was the two towers like from a castle, and I had this realization, oh, that is mirroring, that's the same towers that are over there. And now you have this sort of trickster energy, that's the devil, and this other like sort of bird, like taking it down, deconstructing it. And with the trickster, I was getting like so a trickster archetype is sort of in the universe, is sort of an energy that destroys things that people that we think we need, and it also puts you, but we are actually just blocks in our progress or in our path. And it also, it's like the coyote, or there's a lot of characters in mythologies about this trickstery archetype, like Loke in the northern mythologies. He's not a bad guy. The same with the coyotes. They actually sometimes when we're very fixed on a path and that is not the right one, or we're only supposed to go to a certain part of that path, then we're supposed to reach another part. We're supposed to but we are very linear and we like to see where we're going. But then you have this trickster energy pushing off our path, um, but we've actually been pushed towards our path. So, and also a trickster archetype is sort of, without that there would only be there wouldn't be any progress, basically, any movement anywhere. Yeah. So you have that, and also now again, like a sort of a court jester archetype, the clown at the king's clown, the court jester, that would, he or a good comedian, like they can truly see what is going on through a situation, and they actually say what is going on, but in a they say the truth, they speak the truth, and but they do it in a way that is funny or that is entertaining, and they are allowed to speak the truth. So we're having those sort of, so the devil deconstructing is also part of that, people who are presenting the truth in different ways, and that destroys certain um, structures. Like towers are structures that need to be uh, removed. So people who present it in a good way, not in a hysterical, social justice warrior type of way. In a very, they're very balanced and have a good sense of humor. Um, and also it represents trickster energy, and then you have the bird, which I'm not going to interpret, but it's they're deconstructing. And then we had like Ganesha. Ooh, my hand is getting tired. The elephant Ganesha, and from the nose of Ganesha, we were getting, I was getting. You can see two portals opening up. And Ganesha is like she's the in the Hindu mythology, the god that has an elephant head. He gets his head cut off by his father, and then it's replaced with an elephant head. But so when Ganesha is present, there are big obstacles, but he presents the solutions to remove those obstacles. Like he is when that archetype is present, when that symbol is present, it means that there's basically no obstacle that can't be overcome, and you have that. And it's something more I want to say about Ganesha. Basically, he brings in a way good fortune, and he brings like the obstacles that are being that are being removed, are obstacles that or that you're removing, are obstacles that actually brought you wisdom, a lot of wisdom. There are life experiences that brings wisdom, and that's why sometimes I say that like Ganesha also puts the obstacles that you need. And if we talk about the trickster again with Ganesha, You know how the trickster brings you off your path sometimes, while Ganesha puts the obstacles to bring you off your path. So it's kind of, there's something like that. But two portals were being opened from the nose of Ganesha, like tuk tuk. So through portals we have like new ideas, new innovations, new that we receive, that helps us remove certain obstacles. So the two towers, and those two portals became like they became also like an echo to the towers. The first tower we saw, then the tower as it was being deconstructed, and then you have Ganesha. um so it's almost like you have in the middle of the coffee cup, you had the tower being demolished by the devil energy and all of that. Um, and then on that side, so it's in the middle, and on one side you have this entity, or these types of entities that are anchored into the world, that are birthed from negativity and chaos, war, starvation, fear mongering, that causes depression, anxiety, and those kinds of it feeds on that. um and there are a lot of those types of entities that have been created and are being created uh by those who know how to. Anyways, but also it's like there are like a collective also those negative emotions, but you can trigger the masses, you can trigger the collective to experience the same emotions, the same negative emotions. And by doing that, you can also feed these sort of entities, but also these sort of entities are being created. But anyways, so you have that with the NAUSHIKA here flying around, which is like uh, just as this negative thing, you have like NAUSHIKA and some other beings like flying around. That's because they are looking, they are like watchers, and they are seeing into our world from another dimensional space. And they're also there are also spiritual forces at work that are like watching. So you have that in one side, and then you have uh Ganesha. Basically our support in a way. And in the middle you have this battle of like oh, another thing with the devil, the trickster devil. One symbol can mean so many things. So right now the trickster devil is what I said it was. So it's a positive archetype, but it's also a negative archetype as well. Because if you clone that character, now we clone one character, that devil, and so you have the original clone, which is the archetype of the jester, the fool, and also the trickster. Okay, that goes on the side of Ganesha. Now the clone, on the other hand, also exists, and it belongs to this side, and it's sort of the devil energy. So it reminds me of um the forces, the more negative forces in our world that are very keen on destroying the current structures that we have, economical structures. I'm talking political structures, like the current structures that we have, because they understand they have to go with the flow. And all of our structures are being restructured. It's basically, I'm not going to get into that, but we're like one major theme is our economical systems. They are definitely changing. There are big changes going on. So the way that they are destroying the pillars of society is in a very disruptive way. And there's a reason for that, because if they do that, they can then they can give to us, they can cause a lot of trauma and fear in our societies, and then they can introduce a sort of solution, a new structure, but it's a structure that they want, a new structure. They want to root a new structure for us that they want, but where they can actually keep us in control. And if we go back to environmental movement, the environment and a lot of that, they use, I'm doing a whole video about this, but another video, but they're going to use, especially in politics, they use pretty words, words that sound very good, like the new green cities, the um oh, it disappeared from my mind. I have a bunch of examples, but yeah, like they introduce certain economical solutions to the divide in what's called the divide when it comes to in in class. What's the English word? Basically, the divide between the working class and the sort of upper class, the working class, the middle class. How that divide has become like bigger and bigger and bigger. And so they introduce solutions that are actually, that sound very pretty on the surface, but behind them, there is quite a malicious. The real intent is to, with these new laws and stuff and new governmental forms, they're just trying to implement my cat structures where. Ja, kom, venga, kom, yeah, come. And new structures that that are there for control. But I'm not getting too deep into this because I am doing a big video on this. Where I go from a script, so I'm not all over the place and I make sense. I'm not like now jumping everywhere. Jumping. Uh yeah. So that devil is the devil, and the sort of, in the tarot there is a card that is the devil card, and it's sort of, if you see, the imagery seems to be inspired by the Baphomet, but the Baphomet that is inverted, because the Baphomet is not a negative symbol, but the inversion, when it has this sort of the star upside, the five pointed star upside down, then you have this the symbol of the corruption of the original Baphomet symbol, which is sort of the material world and everything triumphing over anything else, and the lower aspect and the lower minds triumphing over our higher minds, and all of that. You can actually like look it up yourself. There's a lot of information on that symbol. It's not a dark symbol actually. Only when if you see the pentagram upside down, usually, or you see a statue, there's a statue of that in certain cities. You know what kind of occultists are at work there, and it's not the good kind, or it's not the, yeah. There are occultists, and then there are the inversion of that, the corruption of that, the darker kind. Yeah. Uh, so you have this in the middle. So you have the devil as a trickster jester on the side of Ganesha, and also the other devil deconstructing like that foundation for its own benefit, deconstructing the old for its own benefit as well. So you have like, oh, I'm doing another video also just on this, but it's more like cosmic news, which is based on some of my coffee cup readings, where you have like this, we're going through this war that where our consciousness is the like the prize, because there's a lot of things going on. Anyways, behind the scenes, yeah. I actually explained the whole coffee cup reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to show you right now like a little bit of the coffee cup reading without any sound. Like I'm just going to show you, or maybe screenshots. I don't know how I'm doing this. Maybe I showed you in the beginning of this video. I don't know what I'm going to do in the future, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, you're going to see, or you have seen a bit of the coffee cup, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. The imagery. But anyways, whew, keep being your imperfectly perfect self, and I will remind myself that too. Keep being perfectly perfect. So, I forgot to mention the letter A. So the other letter A is the first, that is right next to Ganesha. It is the first letter in the alphabet. So it represents a new beginning, a starting over. And it's next to those portals. Okay? So you can put 2 and 2 together with what I already showed you. Basically, we're going towards a new beginning, a fresh start. But you have to, I removed this from the video, the original video, but we have to think about this kind of changes through big cycles that last more than maybe one human lifetime. Maybe, or even, okay, we can even think about the progress that we're going through in smaller cycles as well, like an 80-year cycle, 80-year cycle, for example, 80-year cycles, 50-year cycles. But truly it's a big, just bigger cycles that are bigger than you cannot just look at it from your own human lifespan perspective. You have to have a bigger vision, especially so that is the letter A. Then I said I wasn't going to interpret the bird, but I lied because I realized. Oh, it rhymes. I lied because I realized. Okay. I realized, so I lied. But so we have 2 air elements, which is NAUSHIKA from the Valley of the Wind, and then we have the bird that is also bringing down the tower, the structures, the old structures. So the bird, so all this air represent just the new consciousness that is bringing in these new structures, and that is the consciousness that's being filtered to the archetype of Aquarius. Yes, I feel that like I mentioned this on every video, but okay. So you have to think about Aquarius as an archetype for consciousness. So this consciousness is being filtered through the archetype of Aquarius, which belongs to the air element. So these forces, these new ideas, these new innovations, the new born babies, the new souls that are coming in, and everything, it's under the new energies of Aquarius. and the new structures, of course, that are going to that we're building. Even the fool, the jester, the little devil that is a jester and a trickster, uh, is bringing, yeah, like everything is basically the air element is the new consciousness that we're entering to, which is an evolutionary process. Shifting in consciousness is truly evolution. And then we have Naushika from the Valley of the Wind, which is the air element. And in the movie, I had this realization that in the movie, she makes a discovery about the Omu, about the truth of the Omu. They are huge insects that are plaguing. They live where the environment has been completely destroyed, so it's completely inhabitable, and they're seen as a threat. But she makes a discovery about the Omu, which is, spoiler alert. It's not such a big spoiler. Yeah, okay, spoiler alert. Basically, they are cleansing the earth. They're helping to revive the earth, to cleanse the environment. So Naushika represents um, the new Aquarian age, the age of air. Why? Because she is she's flying on this flying machine. I don't remember what they call it. And all the innovate, and then she has the discovery of the Omu, the truth about the Omu, that they're actually helping. And the higher aspect of the Aquarian consciousness is that it is about innovations and technology as well, and new discoveries and a lot of things. But if we focus on the technologies and the new discoveries and the new truth, that belongs to this new era, this new consciousness that is entering. And of course, there are people who are trying to distort that. But yeah, so the air element, represented by Naushika, and the bird is deconstructing, removing those old structures, systems. And then you have the other part, that's one part of the Aquarian consciousness, and the other is the new innovative, and the new ideas, and the new, yeah, all of that new good stuff, and the truth truth beyond the haze and illusions of what and the smoke that we have been living under. So sort of waking up. And look, we have the sun here. Da, da, da. Welcome to Things I See in My Cafe. Yeah. Okay, first things first. This is our planet, our dimension. This is other dimensional spaces, other dimensional existence, and the spirit, more of the spiritual world as well, spirits. And this is the most physical, our earth. Okay, so here we actually have Naushika from the Valley of the Wind. So in that movie, the girl, the main protagonist, she has this flying object where she basically holds onto it with her hands like this, and then she floats like that. So this is her head, these are the feet, the lower body, and these are the arms holding onto this machine, this flying machine. And in the movie, she flies over some uninhabitable areas. Then over here you have this being the world. So this being here, it almost looks like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but it looks like it's more of a negative energy, and it's like it's a devour. Do you see the mouth here? It has an open mouth, so it's like it's devouring something. It's feeding on something, and what I think is being fed, like here, it's anchored. The feet are actually anchored on this reality. So it is feeding on this on negative things in the world, on wars and pollution and catastrophes, etc. And now as I'm saying that this almost looks like a smoke coming from fabrics, that's not the word. Um what's the word? Word. Fa, fa blah, 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 blah. Big houses where a lot of smoke is created. Can you see? Like there's one here and one here. So there's something feeding on negativity. And you see like people here, like they look depressed and heavy. Here first we have the elephant Ganesha opening two new portals. So two new portals are being opened, and we have an A here. I don't know what this A means, but we have an A. So Ganesha is the remover of obstacles. These portals can be about new solutions, new innovations being on their way. And then we have like this little devil here. This is the head. It looks like a devil. Like going, haha. And here you have the hands and the body. And this first looked like a spaceship, and it was grabbing the spaceship and like, like one of the antennas of the spaceship. But then I saw that it's more like it's like a castle. What I realized is that these two towers are mirroring, are mirroring those two buildings, those two towers, where this destruction, this spirit is coming from. And yeah, and then we have like you have like Ganesha here opening two new portals. Oh my god, we have two towers again. Two new portals, two new opportunities. Dun-dun.